Now we're going to discuss sales page tips, things to keep in mind as you write your copy, some elements on your page that you want to have after you've written your really good sales copy. So the first thing is you always want to use a reader-friendly font. So some examples of reader-friendly fonts are things like Arial, Verdana, Courier New, Times New Roman, and Tahoma. And you'll notice I actually highlighted each font so you can see what they look like. These are really good fonts. They're easy on the eyes. So you want to try and stay away from like the script and cursive type fonts because that is difficult on the eyes. And if it's difficult for them to read, they're not going to stay and read your entire sales copy. Black font on a white or light colored background works best. Kind of like this. You notice we're on a light gray background. The black font really stands out. But again, white background with black font, that's also really, really good. You want to try and avoid things like a black background with white font. That just doesn't look right. Or a red background with black font. It's not going to show up correctly. You also want to highlight your hot buttons. These are the keyword phrases that are going to really drive people into your product, that really drive home the benefits. So you want to highlight these. So these are the phrases that really drive home the point to your audience. These words should really stand out on your sales page because a lot of times when people read sales copy, they're skimming through the sales copy. And so to highlight these hot buttons or the phrases that really kind of draws people in, those could be like, then I finally discovered the solution. And you want that to stand out because you want their eyes to stop at, I finally found the solution to this problem, and then boom, they're kind of sucked into your sales copy a little deeper to start finding out what that solution was or what the problem was. So things like bolding, italic, underline, using different colors to stand out, different sizes, or highlighted in yellow, for example. So you can see here I kind of demonstrated each one of these except for the highlighted in yellow, but I wanted to demonstrate what this looks like so it kind of jumps out at people. You want to make your headline pop and grab attention. We already covered that in the first part of this copywriting training. And again, we're going to go right back to making your headline really stand out. It's already been mentioned, your headline is extremely vital to your conversion success on your sales copy. Try to promise, again, some kind of a benefit or reward for reading that page, and you really want to lure the reader into your copy. And in your headline, you want to try and use things like with red font as well to really jump out and pop off the page. So a bad headline might be something like send large files to your friends. Like let's say you had a file sharing website. That just isn't very appealing. But here's a good headline: the easiest, most trusted way to send super large files, or this makes all other file sharing applications obsolete. So what you've done there is, instead of just saying, hey, you can send large files to your friends, now all of a sudden you've said this is the easiest, most trusted way to send large files. Or the other option is that for a good headline, this makes all other file sharing applications obsolete. Those last two are going to really draw you in a lot more than just saying send large files to your friends. It's going to make you stop in your tracks and say, whoa, what am I missing out here? Because this file sharing application that I've been using might be obsolete, so I want to watch this. So not just files, but super large files, and then not just a way, the easiest and most trusted way. So instead of just saying, this is the feature of the product, that's what that bad headline does, and it says you can send large files to your friends. But this other one, it says, hey, super large files, so it really draws home a point even more, paints a better picture, and it's, not just a way to send files to your friends, but it's now the easiest and most trusted way. So right there, you instantly just drawn people in. You also want to create reader-friendly paragraphs in your copy. So try to restrict them to 4 to 6 lines each, because you don't want to have long form, sales copy which has a whole paragraph, long paragraph that's 10 to 20 lines sometimes, and it's very difficult on the eyes. People skim when they read copy. I already mentioned that, and that's why doing the hot buttons is really important. But you also want to make it easy on the eyes, or they're just not going to read it, plain and simple. They're going to leave that page if the font's not good, if the hot buttons aren't highlighted, if your headline doesn't pop, they're not going to stay around. So these are all factors. They all have to work together. You want to stay clear of long 10 to 12 line paragraphs. And vary the length of your paragraphs as well, from short to a little bit longer, but you don't want to go as long as I was mentioning there in the middle. You want to try and limit it, maybe 4 to 6 lines each, and maybe a few times maybe have like one sentence to make up an entire paragraph, especially if it draws home a point, because that's going to make it easier on the eyes. It's going to flow more naturally. So it doesn't mean you need to make everyone exactly 6 lines or exactly 4 lines, but try and vary it a little bit, but don't get too long, and don't be shy about using a couple short lines to really draw home points. Another thing to do is draw attention and promote continued reading with subheadlines and more. So subheadlines are typically are bolded or different color to stand out, so they would jump out at you, and those would kind of, lead into like bullet points. They'd be the heading for a paragraph that really drives home a point as far as what your product does. So, other things to look at are bullets. Those really draw home additional ideas. Bullet points could just be, 4 or 5 lines that really drive home a benefit of the product or a benefit of what they're going to get from going through your training. A numbered list, those also kind of stand out and jump out at people. Typically, you would try to center like the subheadline, the bullets, or the numbered list to really draw attention to them. Try not to overuse this though, because you can overuse bullets, you can overuse numbers, you can also overuse on color and bolding and things like that, because if you do overuse them, it kind of renders them, obsolete on the page, because then if it's being used over and over again, people are going to notice that and it's not going to draw attention. Create hope within your sales copy. Convenience, comfort, and relief from pain, whether it's emotional or physical pain, it's what people are seeking. That's really the bottom line. So you want to really create that hope that your product is that solution. Give them hope that your offer can help them. And then create a sense of urgency as you're doing your sales page copy. Add incentives to the offer to encourage faster action, so they get an additional time limited bonus that they might be able to jump at. Possibly take away a bonus if they're slow to act, So for those that are slow to get in here, we're going to remove this bonus at this point in time. Let them know about a possible future price increase. At any point, I could raise the price on this product. Even if you don't have a set date, it's always a good idea to eventually consider raising the price of your course here and there. So you could actually say that as well. Be the authority. Really drive home that you are there to help them. That's really, really important. You are the expert. You are that one person that can help them. If you can portray that message in your copy, you're going to be much better off. Demonstrate anything you can to show you are an authority. You are an authority in that niche market. So study effective sales copy as well in order to be a better copywriter. Spending time to read what top copywriters have done is very, very key to your success. Research people like Gary Halbert, John Carlton, and Bob Bly. These are some of the best copywriters out there. You can just do a Google search for them. You'll find many different examples of their sales copy letters. You could Google top copywriting swipe files to get ideas of phrases they used and structure they did, so you can duplicate it. Old sales copy from the old ads is some of the best material. It still works to this day. Copy is one of those things that stands the test of time. So if you can become good at it, it could actually lead into a whole nother facet of your business where you could write copy for people. And this may seem like a lot of mundane work right now for us to be talking about copy when your goal is to get your product launch out there. But the beauty of this, if you can do this yourself, it's not going to cost you any money to do your own sales copy. Another thing to do with your sales copy is to proofread it. Poor grammar or bad spelling will crush your credibility. Simple proofreading from your preferred word processor is a really good start. It's going to catch spelling errors, possible grammar errors, those types of things. Be unique and understand your unique selling proposition, which is also known as your USP. So, what distinguishes you from the crowd? Is there a certain way that you found your solution that makes you better? Is there a certain way your product is better than a few of the others that maybe you reviewed or that you know of or that you found online? Think of creative ways to differentiate yourself if at all possible. Encourage them to buy from other competitors first and then let them know they will be back to buy from you. That's actually a really bold statement that you can make, is say, hey, go out to my competition, buy from them, and I know you're going to be back because you're going to love this product. That shows confidence in your product. It's a little bit of a unique, it's an edgy thing to say, but it's a really great way to kind of draw people in at the end of your sales copy. And then finally, the last part of your sales page tips here with copywriting is to test your copy, test how it works. Get traffic going to your sales page so you can really track conversions and sales. And then another thing to offer is your guarantee. Offer money back guarantee to your offer of at least 30 days. That's going to basically remove all risk. And we kind of covered this in the previous part on copywriting, but it's really important, just like the headline, we want to drive that home because things like this, like a guarantee, that's going to make people want to purchase from you. It takes away the doubt in the reader's mind. So now we're going to go on to part number 3 of this copywriting training, and I'm going to go ahead and stop this video, and we're going to pick up from a sales copy from start to finish, and I'm going to go over each one of the elements of this sales copy so you can really see a live example of what your sales copy should look like when it's completed.